What's good? We back, baby. We live. Tweener Wrestling Podcast, Season 1, Episode 9. We are coming in scorching hot off Episode 8, which was my Montez Appreciation episode, which officially has the highest views on my YouTube channel, Tweener Wrestling Podcast, at 250 plus viewers. It is not a lot to you, but it is everything to me, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in. This episode, Episode 9, we're going to talk a little bit about Logan Paul. I'm going to give y'all my thoughts on him. Might touch on Jake Paul a little bit. Stay tuned for that. Before we get into it, if you guys are listening to my podcast on Apple Podcasts, make sure you following my podcast. And also, whenever you get time, like right now, scroll down, rate the podcast, give it a 5-star rating. Do the same thing if you're listening on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. If you're watching me on YouTube, go ahead and sub if you're not already subbing, and go ahead and show love and hit that like button. But let's get into it. My thoughts on Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Let's go. Alright guys, so let's kick this shit off with let's kick this shit off with a hot take that and I'm smiling when I say this for the people that's listening and not watching this on YouTube. I'm smiling when I say this because for some reason within the last month, maybe since the Royal Rumble, that's what really opened my eyes. Logan Paul got it. Old boy got it. And I hate to say it. I really, really, really hate to say it, but there's something about Logan Paul. I'm trying my best not to say Jake Paul. There's something about Logan Paul that I just came to realize that you got to put respect on my boy name when it comes to his in-ring ability. He really got it. The collision he had with Ricochet was one of the highlights of the men's Royal Rumble because, let's be real, the men's Royal Rumble, outside of Gunther really becoming the Iron Man in that match, that whole match was trash, to be real. So the Jake Paul Ricochet collision was one of the highlights of the Royal Rumble. He is halfway decent on the mic, but he has that natural asshole heat. He's almost like a combination of The Miz and who else? Let's see. He's like like if The Miz and Baron Corbin had a baby, like a fusion of The Miz and Baron Corbin. That's what Logan Paul reminds me of. But in the ring, I'm getting caught up because I'm trying to explain to y'all why this dude is the GOAT. Logan Paul, and then I had to Google him because Jake Paul to me is the more famous brother. So I had to sit back, relax, and Google Logan Paul and really see what this dude is about. Because outside of that, when he fought Floyd Mayweather and when he first had his WWE debut, which I think was in the match with him and The Miz against Dominic and Ray. I think that was his debut match where he kind of proved a lot of doubters that thought it would be weird to see him in the ring. He put a lot of doubters on notice. But I really Googled him and I looked into his background. Did not know he was that young. He's only 27 years old, which is another thing I like about Logan Paul. We're going to keep this episode short and simple, man. Just like the Montez Ford Appreciation episode, this is me getting on the Logan Paul train now before it leaves the station. Because that motherfucker is going to leave the station. Like, I really, truly believe in Logan Paul with the right booking. Now, the way I will book Logan Paul for the rest of 2023, he has a WrestleMania match against Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins is the type of character that no matter how many times he loses, it's still Seth freaking Rollins. So with that being said, because Logan Paul hasn't won any of his matches, I believe. I can't remember if he won that debut match with him and The Miz versus the Mysterios, but I think the Mysterios won. Then he lost against Roman. And then he lost in the Royal Rumble. And then he showed up at the Elimination Chamber. And then now he has the WrestleMania match. I would give him a WrestleMania moment in a slimy way. I don't know how to book him beating somebody like a Seth Rollins, but whatever it is, he needs to book it. If you got to have Jake Paul or his entourage interfere, which his entourage got a name, but I don't know what the name is. But something has to happen where Logan Paul needs to win at WrestleMania against Seth Rollins. And then maybe let it trickle to WrestleMania Backlash and let Seth get the win there. But Logan needs this win bad. This will be his first win. And Logan Paul has that gimmick to where I'm noticing, like, when he had that match against Roman, when he recorded himself diving off the turnbuckle, crashing through the table, crash and burn through the table on Roman, he said, "Are you ready to go viral?" That to me is that's a great marketing slogan for him. Like, are you ready to go viral? Or you can call him Mr. Highlight Reel, like shit like that. I just feel like it's a great marketing thing for Logan, and you can just put the jetpack on this dude. He had a highlight moment against Roman. He had a highlight moment at the Royal Rumble. Give him a highlight moment at WrestleMania against Seth. I don't know what the fuck it's gonna be, but give him a highlight moment to where he's like, I would let him say it again. Get ready to go viral, Seth, and then just have him do some crazy shit. Now, eventually, I feel like he's gonna get seriously injured for some reason, but to me, I hope that it's not an injury for a long time that derails his momentum, because it's just something about him that I like. And it's almost like how I really disliked Dominic Mysterio when I first saw him. And then now he's growing on me. And a couple of other people is like that too. But right now, Logan Paul is at the top of my list. Him, Gunther, whatever you want to call him, Montez Ford are the three guys that I really got my eye on for 2023 that I think needs to get pushed. Now, this is going to contradict what I said about Montez, where I said I think Montez needs to win the Money in the Bank. But I would really strongly consider, y'all gonna kill me for this, but I got to say it, I would really strongly consider Logan Paul, Mr. Money in the Bank. I don't know why, but I think that would get under everybody's skin. It would be an instant, put him in like instant superstar. Like, what's more entertaining, Logan Paul as Mr. Money in the Bank or Montez Ford? I will answer that question because I know what people are saying right now. Of course, Montez Ford. Montez Ford is the person that I think would benefit the most from being Mr. Money in the Bank. But I think that from a marketing standpoint, and putting asses in seats, Logan Paul, because I noticed this about wrestling, and I've been a wrestling fan since the 90s. Hear me out, guys. People tune in more to see an arrogant heel lose a belt to the hero more than like just somebody who is like a face and they have gotten stale, like a Bianca Belair, and like people really don't care that much to watch her matches. If Logan Paul was Mr. Money in the Bank and Logan Paul went and let's say he took the belt, one of the belts, because we were assuming they're going to get split at WrestleMania. If he won Mr. Money in the Bank in July and then he went on SummerSlam, cashed it in, won the title at SummerSlam, let's say he's the Universal Champion, Logan Paul, and let's say I guarantee you, every single title match you put Logan in, if it's Logan against Drew McIntyre, if it's Logan against Roman, if it's Logan against Gunther, if it's Logan, no matter who Logan goes against, everybody is going to tune into that match waiting for Logan Paul to lose. And y'all, I got the perfect example. Just like Jake Paul, how everybody keep watching every last Jake Paul fight, boxing match, waiting for somebody to knock Jake Paul on his ass to shut him the fuck up. That is the perfect example of what I mean, where Logan Paul will be such an arrogant asshole great heel that every single title match he's in, I would like have like Logan Paul versus Drew McIntyre first. Logan Paul slides out champion. Everybody get pissed off. Logan Paul against Big E. Boom. Slides out champion. everybody pissed off. Like, everybody just gonna wait for that moment. You do Logan Paul against a returning Randy Orton. Everybody gonna be salivating at that shit. RKO out of nowhere to kick off the rivalry type shit. Like, everybody gonna be like that shit would blow the roof off that shit, because he's such an arrogant heel that everybody gonna tune into it. So that's the best example I can give to why I think he will be a better Mr. Money in the Bank than my boy Montez Ford, who is my favorite wrestler at the moment. But I'm just saying, if Montez is not in the Money in the Bank match, I would like for Logan Paul to win. And then also, because I said I'm gonna touch a little bit on Jake Paul. Let's say Logan Paul not in the Money in the Bank match. Cool. Okay, I ain't worried about it. I don't know why I want to see Jake Paul in WWE. He finally lost his first boxing match to Tommy Fury, I believe. Tommy Fury. I'm trying to say it right. Lost his first match. I know he can't do it now, but for some reason, I would like to see the Paul Bros do one run as tag team champs once those belts get split. You can put them on Raw, you can put them on SmackDown. I really don't care, but I would like to see them. I don't know what it is about them, but I'm not a fanatic of Logan Paul and Jake Paul. I just think, and this is a Vince McMahon term, I just think it's just good shit to put both of them in wrestling. I just think it's good shit. I just think it makes good TV because they're so disliked. They're so disliked that I just think a lot of people will gravitate to watch their matches just to watch them lose because they're so disliked. You got people that's very disliked, like Baron Corbin, that don't nobody give a fuck about. But then you got matches like people like The Miz or MJF in AEW. You know, they're so disliked that people just watch the match waiting for them to lose. Don't know about MJF because he's kind of a tweener now. But anyway, so that's my thoughts on Logan Paul. Like, real quick, real simple, straight to the point. He's super young at 27. Jake Paul is 26. Extremely talented. Not very good on the mic, but he's really good in the ring, or I would just say he's better than expected. Okay, he's better than expected in the ring. I would like to see him just have a major run for 2023, Mr. Money in the Bank, if Montez Ford is not in the match. If Montez Ford is in the match, go ahead and give it to Montez, because I feel like Jake Paul doesn't necessarily need the briefcase to get elevated to become a superstar. Montez will definitely need it, because I think it's going to be hard for people to break off of that Street Profits gimmick for him whenever he goes on the solo run. So definitely give it to Montez if he's in the match. But if Montez is not in that match and Logan Paul is, I want to see Logan Paul as Mr. Money in the Bank, or I want to see the Paul Bros. I don't know why I'm calling them that, but I want to see the Paul Bros as tag team champs before the year is over with. All right, guys, that is a wrap on episode 9. My thoughts on Logan Paul. Going forward, I'm not sure if you guys noticed that I am making my episodes a lot shorter. They're like between 15 to 25 minutes at most, from the 35 to 45 minutes they used to be. I'll save those long episodes for when I have my special guests. But just episodes of me talking to you guys and giving my thoughts and hot takes on wrestling. We're just going to keep that short. Winding down on season 1 right now. We're just wrapping up episode 9. Season 2 is going to be debuting within the next 2 weeks. I'm going to do a complete overhaul of how the channel looks. We're going to get some new intros. We're going to get an outro, just a better production quality as well. So I cannot wait to present you with season 2. I'm still working on how I want to kick it off. It might be some type of celebration episode where I just might bring back all my special guests from season 1, Pretty Fit Collector and Brian, and then I might have someone else coming up within the next 2 episodes to close out season 1 as well. The next couple of episodes that we got going on, I have a way too early predictions on Money in the Bank, which is July the 1st. I am also going to do my thoughts on the Judgment Day, Dominic Mysterio, and just, the Mysterios period. And then I'm thinking about doing a game show episode for the finale. I was about to say something else. For the finale of season 1 as well. I'm thinking about doing a game show episode. Once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And once again, if you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, please, I will greatly appreciate it if you guys just take a couple of seconds to rate my podcast, help this podcast grow, because this is the first and only podcast at the moment, unless somebody steal my thunder, the only podcast that's for fans by a fan that allows fans to come on the platform and discuss wrestling topics with me. Oh, you want to be on the platform? Hit me up at podcasttweener@gmail. Not Tweener Podcast, but podcasttweener at Gmail. That's TWEENER. Podcasttweener@gmail. If you hit me up, just like Brian did, you are guaranteed to be on an episode of Tweener Wrestling Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube and you're not subbed, go ahead and sub, hit that like button, drop in the comments on what you think about Logan Paul. And until episode 10, the Big 10, the milestone episode, until episode 10, guys, I greatly appreciate you and much love.